Mukul Roy, the BJP's first import for Mamata Banerjee, Trinamool Congress, returned to his former party today along with his son Subhranshu. Operation Return of the Prodigal, reportedly led by Mamata Banerjee, has only begun, says the Trinamool Congress, openly saying that more leaders are on their way back to the mothership. Mukul Roy, a founder member of the Trinamool, was its general secretary when he quit. That post has now gone to the chief minister's nephew, Abhishek Banerjee, who first reached out to Mr. Roy and his family. Last week, Abhishek Banerjee visited Mukul Roy at the hospital where his wife is admitted. And the very next day, Prime Minister Modi spoke with Mukul Roy on the phone to ask after his wife's health, reflecting the BJP's nervousness in the state.
এই ঘরে আজকের এই সভায় আমার আজকে নিজের খুব ভালো লাগছে যে অত্যাধিক সব পুরনো ছেলেগুলোর সাথে আমার দেখা হচ্ছে। আমার অত্যন্ত ভালো লাগছে যে ভারতীয় জনতা পার্টি থেকে বেরিয়ে এসে এই নতুন আঙিনায় আমি যাদের সাথে দেখা হচ্ছে, কথা বলতে পারছি, আমার খুব ভালো লাগছে এবং এটা ভাবছি যে বাংলা আবার তার নিজের জায়গায় ফিরবে এবং এই ফেরার নেতৃত্ব দেওয়ার জন্য যিনি সামনে থেকে বাংলাকে লিড করবেন তিনি আমাদের সকলের নেত্রী, ভারতবর্ষের নেত্রী, তিনি আর কেউ নয়, আমাদের সকলের নেত্রী মমতা বন্দ্যোপাধ্যায়।
এই জন্য আমরা অভিনন্দন জানাচ্ছি। পার্থ চ্যাটার্জি আমাদের সেক্রেটারি জেনারেল, তিনি তাকে অভিনন্দন জানিয়েছেন এবং স্বাগত জানিয়েছেন। সুব্রত বক্সী, সুব্রত মুখোপাধ্যায়, জাভেদ খান, ফিরাদ হাকিম সবাই আছে, সব আমাদের সহকর্মীরা। আমি মুকুলের যদি কিছু বলার থাকে মুকুলকে বলবার জন্য অনুরোধ করব।
All right, so he will play an important role in the party going forward, says Mamata Banerjee. Just what role will that be? Let's go across to Monideepa for more on this. Monideepa, Mukul Roy had said he was feeling suffocated in the BJP. That was because he was squeezed in there by the prominence given to Suvendu Adhikari. So where does he fit into the TMC now, where he's back with the formal elevation of Abhishek Banerjee, because of whom he reportedly left way back in 2017, but he's the one who publicly reached out to Mukul Roy.
That's right. You know, Sarah, a lot of water has flown under the bridge in the 3 years and 9 months that Mukul Roy was away from the Trinamool Congress. And perhaps it's a lot of, you know, optics. In politics, optics matter so much. And we saw Abhishek Banerjee was the one who actually garlanded him back into the party. But what is really key is that Mukul Roy's return, the homecoming to the Trinamool Congress, is sure to have a huge impact on what happens to the Trinamool Congress in the coming years and also to the BJP in Bengal. As Mamata Banerjee said, and she said it clearly, that Mukul Roy is a valued member of the party and his position will be the same as in the past. Now, obviously, she couldn't have meant that he will be back as General Secretary because Abhishek has just been anointed in that position, but certainly promised Mukul Roy a position that of respect. But what is important is, you know, this whole move to get Mukul Roy back. Why? One, of course, because he is an old member of the party. But that apart, what will it mean for the BJP in Bengal? That seems to be the Trinamool's strategy, really. Get Mukul Roy back. Get as many others back from the BJP. More people back into Trinamool from the BJP than the BJP had taken away from it. You know, the optics of that, people leaving the Trinamool one after the other, that had hurt the Trinamool Congress, even though it has returned to power with 213 seats. It had hurt the Trinamool Congress, and that is something Mamata Banerjee is not willing to risk again. So 2024 in mind, you know, she has, I believe, launched this Operation Return of the Prodigal. Mukul Roy may have a titular position at the end of the day, just a nominal position, one perhaps in name, we don't know yet, but the party is certainly hoping that the impact of Mukul Roy's return will be, double-edged. One is it will strengthen the Trinamool Congress in the sense of that is perhaps a sentiment that will be strengthened, but it may damage the BJP seriously, with a lot of party leaders who left the Trinamool Congress already making noises of return. So that is what is going to perhaps be the importance of Mukul Roy's return, how it will impact the BJP. And don't forget, Mukul Roy's exit from the BJP comes at a time when already the BJP has lost face in Bengal with 77 seats only when it had targeted 200, and then there is the Uttar Pradesh elections coming up. The BJP has been celebrating, that Jitin Prasad has moved from Congress to the BJP just ahead of the crucial election. Mukul Roy returning to the Trinamool Congress is going to take away some of the sheen from moves like that. So Mukul Roy's return, not just an immediate, return of the prodigal, but also hopefully will have for the Trinamool long-term effects on its plans for the future, which includes, of course, big ones for 2024.
Mamata Banerjee said, Khele hobe, she meant a marathon, not a one-day match in a sense. Thanks Moni for that. So Mamata Banerjee saying more will return in a reversal of fortunes from before the assembly elections, where we saw high spectacle desertions from the TMC to the BJP. Is it now the saffron party's turn to watch the exit door? Let's go across to Preetam Datta, Secretary of the BJYM, West Bengal, a leader of the BJP there. Tawfiq Ahmed Khan, a political analyst with TMC leanings, and Debjani Bhattacharya, political analyst who is a pro-BJP. Mr. Datta, to you first. Before the West Bengal elections, the BJP claimed Mamata Banerjee would be isolated after the polls, and today you see her, that image of the day that's across all papers and every television set. Mamata Banerjee, far from being alone, sitting right next to Mukul Roy, sitting by her side. Just the opposite has happened.
Yeah, so now what is your question basically?
Is this an embarrassment, or it is an embarrassment? There's no question, sir. This is an embarrassment for the BJP. Ghar Vapasi of Mukul Roy, the BJP failing to retain the TMC's co-founder, somebody who made the vice president in the state.
So he of Bharatiya Janata Party, and this is call. This is not. I can tell you that we are having a vote share of around 27% and above, and we got the vote about 2.27 crore votes, and we are from 3 to now we are 77 MLAs of BJP, and we have expanded exponentially. But thing is that it is his own personal views that he is not able to cope up with BJP, and now is going to TMC. It's up to him only. But about party, we are into, our carb is in high.
So it's up to him to return. The BJP does not have a role to play. This is not a failure of the party to retain somebody who's been the former second in command of the TMC, someone who not just won his seat, despite contesting the polls after a gap of 2 decades?
See, I can tell you one thing, that in Mukul Roy ji, this is the first time Mukul Roy ji have won the electoral election in BJP's ticket only. The first time he has been given post of vice president in national party like BJP. So
Sir,
BJP
he hasn't contested for 2 decades. So naturally, it would be the first time he's won since he contested.
Once he contested and he lost miserably, and he doesn't contested, and now this is the first time he got a ticket from BJP, a national party, and he won the election, and again, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, go ahead. Mr. Datta, go ahead.
So that's what I'm telling is that BJP has given Mr. Mukul Roy many things, from VP of national party, then given ticket for MLA election. So BJP has given him everything. So we are the party of principle. We are go abide by the principle only, and we are you know, in Bengal only we have increased our vote share, we have increased our seats and all these things. Arithmetically, we are not having the, you know, the numbers to form the government, but people voted for us.
All right, Mr. Tawfiq Ahmed Khan, the BJP here downplaying the significance or the impact of today's big development. Does Mr. Roy still have his political muscles intact? Does he still have political heft? Like I said, he just won his election from Krishna Nagar after contesting, despite not contesting for 2 decades.
In the year 2019, in the general elections, and before that, the panchayat elections in West Bengal, BJP gained tremendously, and a majority of that credit went to Mr. Mukul Roy. Mr. Mukul Roy was praised as someone who engineered the win for the BJP. But in 2021, we all saw that he was dumped, because in 2021, BJP was sure that they were going to, you know, or maybe overconfident that they were going to win the election. And then came the question of who is going to take the credit. It was for, you know, the BJP wanted Mr. Amit Shah to take the credit, and therefore the entire machinery who was present during the 2021 election in Bengal were different than that was in 2019. So, yes, Mr. Mukul Roy has got something in himself which will add value to Trinamool party, as our Trinamool Supremo, Miss Mamata Banerjee herself has said, and he will be playing a very important role. There is, you know, and so far the BJP and their politics is concerned, we have seen in the start of 2021. Another very important BJP leader and a former union minister, Yashwant Sinha, joined Trinamool, because there is no other alternative to Narendra Modi today in the country other than Mamata Banerjee. Miss Mamata Banerjee, being the 5 times MP and 2 times Chief Minister, she is one of the very seasoned politicians that India has, and is an alternative to the government at the center. And in 2024, we will see as the day progresses, more and more people from BJP and from other parties will show their support to Mamata Banerjee in the coming days, because of the immense experience she has, because of the wonderful connect that she has built with the people in her state and across the country as well.
Rani Bhattacharya, would you agree this is a significant story, a political development, not just about Mukul Roy returning to the TMC, but also what this says about Mamata Banerjee, the only leader who can play by the BJP's rules and take it one step further. It was often said of the BJP, they don't stop to celebrate their victory; they look ahead to the next big election. And here's what you see Mamata Banerjee doing, and the TMC eager to capitalize on the anti-BJP sentiment in the state at this moment, and to stamp really into perpetuity their narrative that the BJP's political culture and ethos is alien to Bengal. It is doomed to remain an outsider in the foreseeable future.
Yeah, let me tell you, in Bengal, BJP got around 59 lakhs less vote than what TMC got. TMC got precisely 2 crores 87 lakhs 35,420 votes, while BJP got 2 crores 28 lakhs 50,710 votes. So BJP has got built up quite a good support on the ground. Yet Trinamool has got a landslide victory, mainly because I have worked in detail on the data. TMC has actually, the minorities of Bengal has formed a total regimentation. 97.1% of minority votes have gone in favor of TMC. So that way the arithmetic of number of seats have favored, and that way TMC has won. But actually minus the minority votes, TMC has badly lost the election. That's what the data is saying. If you go booth-wise also, where Bengal is marred with violence now, in number of places, BJP Karyakartas are being beaten, Hindus are being beaten, and in all those places, BJP has won in all those booths. So the thing is, finally, if you win a seat by even a 20 votes, then also it's win. So that I am not saying about. What I would definitely speak is this, that in Bengal, since 1967, there was no room for nationalist politics. Bengal's ground was always like a ground for politics, initially for Congress, and from 1967, it was basically a leftist politics, leftist style of politics, which Mamata Banerjee is carrying forward. She is the true leftist, in true sense of it. So definitely, if nationalist politics, if saffron politics has to come to Bengal, then it has to cross many such hurdles. Whatever is happening, everything was predictable to the politically conscious people of Bengal. Mukul Roy came, if I am not wrong, he came around at 2018. And in 2019, people say that it was Mukul Roy's presence that gave BJP the number. That's not true. That was BJP really didn't have much of organization on ground. But it was people's choice. People actually had created a formidable consolidation. This time also, if you see, and after that, when people from TMC started, influx started within BJP, that gave some backlash to BJP definitely. That's why a significant percentage of Hindus didn't turn up to vote this year. Had all the Hindus voted, what could have been the outcome, the final result? That can be that's a matter of extrapolation. So,
all right, let's get in. Sugato Roy joining us now from the TMC. Mr. Roy, I'm not sure if you heard Ms. Debjani Bhattacharjee. If you did, you can respond to that. But also, I want to ask you.
I did not hear her.
All right, let me ask you, Mr. Roy.
Some wrong statistics, which has no meaning. BJP has been defeated roundly. Why give lectures on the reasons for defeat?
Well, today certainly the moment, it is the TMC's moment in the limelight, and it's a big day for the TMC. But Mr. Roy, if I could ask you, where does Ms. Mukul Roy fit now in the TMC? He had reportedly left years ago because he, as he said today about the BJP, he was feeling suffocated in the BJP. Perhaps he was feeling suffocated in the TMC way back then because of the rise of Mamata Banerjee's nephew. Where does he fit in now, sir, now that he's back?
No, Mukul Roy will fit in TMC. There is no problem. His work will be assigned by Mamata Banerjee herself. Mukul is a very experienced politician, and he was not allowed to work in the BJP till he won his seat in the assembly. So now Mamata Banerjee will assign the work to her. We are ruling the state. We have a lot of work to do, and Mukul's addition will be help. And I must remind you that Mukul has always been a soft liner. He never used harsh words against Mamata Banerjee or Abhishek. So there is no resistance about him in the party. Good thing.
All right. Clearly that is, the line that you just could not cross or cannot cross. Pritam Datta, the Trinamool Congress, Mamata Banerjee making it very clear, the fact that we didn't see the kind of vitriolic we heard in this election that has been, that's been distasteful all around. We didn't hear those words coming in from Mukul Roy, which is why he's welcome back into the TMC today. But the fact is, since 2017, Mukul Roy has been instrumental in persuading a bunch of Trinamool MLAs and leaders to shift loyalty to the BJP. Is the BJP now worried that you're going to see more leaving the BJP and following in his footsteps?
So
I don't think so. Because
that's all I
is
have
it,
to say. Thank you.
what is the question? Can you tell me? Can you ask me?
Are you now worried that you will see more leaders leaving the party in droves, just as they did when Mukul Roy left the TMC to come to the BJP?
See, I don't think so, because the party is an idealistic party. We are work on ideal, we are work on our principle, and people voted for us, given us a thumping votes, like 2.28 crore vote is not a small vote, you know. And by your channel, I am going to request Mukul Roy to ask or request Miss Mamata Banerjee, our CM of West Bengal, to see that our BJP Karyakartas who are not in home for the post-poll violence, they are all outside of their home in this scenario. So I am requesting Mukul Das so that he can tell Mamata Banerjee and take care of our Karyakartas to return the home, because he also know, and he commenting in many cases in media also about the atrocities, and TMC have been given to Bengal, you know. So
All right.
it is lawlessness
All
is
right,
going
Mr.
on.
Datta. Thank you all. Thank you all. That's all we have time for. But clearly, this is not the last we've heard in the story. As they say, the game will let the games begin. That still holds today, just as it did in the run-up to those assembly elections.